Right, video uploaded, promotion on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook sorted.
Red alert, red alert, red alert.
Oh, what now? Bloody link dropper on my Facebook post. Computer, play the start of the video for me, please.
Coronavirus!
Hey all you pro-maskers, thanks for doing your part to save the world by wearing a mask when you go out in public, even if you're not sick. You may not have heard, so I'm going to tell you. Doctors have now discovered that farts can also spread the coronavirus. That's right, if you fart and you're sick with the coronavirus, you could be killing the person behind you.
It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? What's up everybody, I'm Mr. G. When somebody link drops their video onto my post, I normally report them to the group admins. This time I thought I would teach them a lesson on why they shouldn't link drop on my post. They also did the same to Hatman, whom I'm sure is roasting the said individual for the same crime. So let's take a look at this guy's channel. Lonely Desert Boy has 1,660 subs and up to recently was creating random content such as the water hole cannon experience and what did Jesus Christ say to drown paedophiles. Now though, he has turned into a COVID-19 conspiracy nut, and it's a couple of those videos I'm going to look at today. So the first video I'm looking at today is called the social distancing hoax, which calls the whole social distancing idea ridiculous and the governments are using it to control people.
Hey YouTube, it's early on a Thursday morning. I am so excited. I'm getting into some really cool content online. Someone's helping me to make my YouTube channel better. But I want to talk to you guys about the absurdity of social distancing, how absolutely ridiculous this is, how your government is oppressing you. They're not saving you from any virus, and how we've got to eliminate the laws or the rules or police arresting people for not social distancing. And if you've been arrested for not social distancing, you need to fight it because it's completely subjective. Police are trained to visually, for example, see how fast a car is going with their naked eye, and they sometimes go to court and they give you a speeding ticket based on their own visual acuity, and they might be wrong. It's very subjective.
Social distancing was not introduced as an oppressive measure, but to slow down the spread of the virus. COVID-19 carriers show no symptoms for up to 2 weeks, but are contagious. If you stay away 2 meters from someone, you reduce the chances of being infected by them. I don't know about America, but I know in the UK you can't be arrested for breaking social distancing rules, but you can be moved on and asked to adhere to the guidelines. He also said a police officer can arrest you if he visually thinks that you're speeding. That's not true. No police officer can arrest you because of a sight test. The only acceptable measures for speeding allowed in a court according to the website are the following: pacing, detection by aircraft, VASCAR system, speed detection by radar and laser speed detection. And you can contest any of those methods in court. So if he was wrong about his facts about driving offences, what else is he wrong about?
They're trained to say, okay, that car is going like between 23 and 25 miles per hour. I can tell with my naked eye, but they're not always correct. Sometimes they work long hours, they're tired, and so they go arrest people at the beach now for not social distancing. And these laws were passed over the fear of a germ which kills 0.000040 3% of the worldwide population. That's if you go to the Google website, you type in worldwide COVID deaths, you get the number on the screen of total deaths, you divide that number by 7.8 billion people that we think are alive in the world, and it comes out, now it's coming out to about 0.00004, which is like a 1 in 25,000 chance of dying. And if you do get the virus, you have a 99.87 chance of surviving.
He bangs on about the death rate being effectively 2%. If I gave you 100 jelly beans and said 2 of these jelly beans had been poisoned and if you took them you would die, you would stay away from the jelly beans because you knew the risk was too great to eat them. Also, any RPG players know a 2% chance isn't as low as it sounds. How many times have I failed a saving roll because of a 2% chance of a critical failure?
So why are we forcing people to stay 6 feet apart when we know a virus can't jump 6 feet all by itself? Maybe if you sneeze or maybe if you're shouting, you can talk loud and your breath isn't going to be going a full 6 feet. So this has gotten really ridiculous, out of hand, for the fear narrative, for the government that's trying to pass other things. And I'm not going to get into the hidden agenda right now. My other YouTube videos on the planned pandemic go into that.
It's not a fear agenda why we currently have social distancing. It's because droplets from the mouth via talking, sneezing and coughing could travel up to 2 meters or more. And like I've already said, anybody infected with COVID-19 shows no symptoms for 2 weeks. Imagine standing by someone who was infected, close up and talking to them. The chances of you being infected will go up quite considerably. And that's why thousands of people were infected who attended the Cheltenham Festival, because other people that attended were infected. And this is why social distancing was introduced, to reduce the spread and to stop the hospitals being overwhelmed.
Look at what happens. Think about an atom with electrons and how electrons can't be close together. They repel, right? So you can't force it. I don't know, maybe if you're in physics or micro physics or whatever you call it, and nanotechnology and stuff, you know more about electrons than I do, but it's really hard to, like, if you take 2 negative sides of a magnet, you can't get them to stick together. So now let's say that those electrons are people in a big city like New York or LA trying to get to work, and they have to walk to work together. Have you ever seen a picture of New York and people walking on the sidewalk? They are literally shoulder to shoulder sometimes, with just 6 inches apart, not 6 feet. So now how can anyone expect everyone to go back to work if they got to stay 6 feet apart? And then what if someone just needs to cross into an alleyway or go down the stairs and they got to walk by you? And is there going to be like a police officer, like a football referee with a measuring tape? Oh, you're not 6 feet. You're not. I mean, this is ridiculous nuts.
He said about people working in New York City. I imagine a lot of those workers right now are working from home to keep the numbers down. If we return to normal right now, it's going to be a disaster. For example, there was a funeral in Bradford where 250 people attended, even though the rules state 30 people maximum, and out of those 250 people, a lot of those people have been infected, and that's why social distancing must still be adhered to.
Like, way out of line. This is absurd. We need to get rid of the social distancing concept, because this is retarded. If this persists through the end of 2020, I'm going to be shocked at how stupid Americans are, or anyone around the world, for letting their government foist this upon them. We need to be fighting our government. I mean that literally. In court, you need to be yelling at your politicians when you see them in the street. You need to be not giving them a goddamn break, because they are foisting this upon you. People like Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, the guy from Washington, which is where Bill Gates happens to live. And Bill Gates is one of the people that's behind all these weird concepts that you're having to deal with right now. I'm not making this up. You can research this for yourself.
I love how he's blaming Bill Gates on the current situation. Well, firstly, Gates is American and has no bearing on what other people in other countries are doing. And secondly, social distancing is not a new concept. Back in 1918, when the world was in the grip of Spanish flu, we had social distancing going on then. The reason why it failed was because a few months into it, people started ignoring social distancing, and the whole world ended up with 50 million dead. So saying that social distancing is down to modern control methods is completely and utterly wrong.
You know your damn role, and shut your damn mouth!
I'm skipping the rest of the video because the points he raised were things like, the virus isn't killing that many people. Really? 133,000 Americans dead by this virus alone? And 500,000 people worldwide have died? I would hardly call that a small number. That's a quarter of the total of the people that died during the first wave of influenza. Imagine what the second wave of the coronavirus will be. He also thinks that this virus was built in a laboratory, even though there's not one single piece of evidence that actually sheds any form of light on that theory. Moving on to the next video now, I'm taking a look at one from the 30th of March 2020, which he called Is COVID-19 Overhyped? Yeah, this is going to be really interesting.
Hello YouTube, what's going on? It's your buddy Adam Online. So talking coronavirus, I'm going to post a link below to a guy who's got way more followers, viewers than I do, but he's got some great evidence from the New England Journal of Medicine where Anthony Fauci, that's the short guy with the big ears that stands next to Trump, he's one of the medical experts in the White House. He states in the New England Journal of Medicine that the contagious factor, or the fatality rate, though it is contagious, the fatality rate is 0.1% with coronavirus. It's 1 out of 1,000 people, usually someone that's already got a disease like, leukemia or cancer of some kind, so their immune system's already compromised. So you're seeing a lot of people catch this virus quickly. Trust me, I was in pre-med. I'm not a doctor, but I did do some medical studies. It's catching on quickly because the world has never been exposed to this virus before, right?
It's only the unhealthy people dying, and even then it's killing just 1% of them. It's completely wrong on both accounts. Because if he had done some research, he would learn it's not just people with underlying health issues that are passing away. There have been some cases of healthy people passing from COVID-19 too. Also, if he had done some further research, he would discover that there are organ damage of those people that have survived the virus. But hey, nothing to worry about though, is there?
And yes, I know there's some rumors and some like QAnon stuff about Bill Gates manufacturing the virus, and I'm actually listening and looking at that because I think there's probably some truth to that if you look at everything that Bill Gates supports, where his money goes. And but I want you to watch this video below. I want you to share the video below. I'm going to post a link because the more we can share this, the more we can get our country back up and running. I know for me personally, I've been affected. I have a vacation rental business. People don't travel when countries are on lockdown. So, and a $1,200 stimulus check isn't going to help me float all my business bills for a month. I'm going to still be going negative. So I'd rather just be up and running and helping the economy roll forward. But check out the video below. Tell your friends and your political leaders in government. Remind them, they're probably already aware, but let them know that that there's a 1 out of 1,000 fatality rate. So 0.1% of people are dying from coronavirus. That's not serious enough to be on lockdown. We should be going back to work. Yes, we should be washing our hands, sanitizing, maybe wearing a doctor mask if you're not feeling well.
Why do people think that Bill Gates is behind the virus? What logic do they have? I've seen some wild theories, including Bill Gates is building a vaccine that's going to have nanotechnology in it, and that nanotechnology will track you no matter where you go. Well, surprise, surprise, you've already got a tracking system on you. If you have one of these in your pocket or your handbag, they can track you. Why go through all that trouble when they've already got a data harvesting system already in place? Also, at the end of the day, he wants the country reopened so he can get money from his job and get people travelling again. It doesn't matter if thousands of people die in the process. That's a bit selfish, mate, if you're thinking about yourself during the worst disease crisis of our lifetime.
But there's no reason why we can't just be a normal functioning society, in my opinion. And if you also watch this video, you'll see they're showing some of these hospitals in smaller cities are not overwhelmed. Like New York, I can understand, right? And Los Angeles, actually someone commented in Los Angeles, their hospitals are not that overwhelmed. So I could be wrong. I live out in Utah, but I want you to watch the video for yourself. I want you to share it with some friends. That way we get the word out there that this seems to really be getting overhyped. The media loves negative.
He says the hospitals aren't being overwhelmed by the virus. Well, if he did some research today, he would find stories claiming that US mayors are saying that their hospitals are on the verge of being overwhelmed by the virus. And a story from the same day he released this video claiming that Utah officials were saying that they were bracing for hospitals to be overwhelmed in the coming months because of the virus. I think he spoke too soon when he said it wasn't happening here.
And they're going to hype it up. And who knows if the hype continues, what else are they going to try to implement? Are they going to try to implement forced vaccinations where you don't have a choice and you and your family have to go get an unknown chemical injected into you, like with liquid mercury, formaldehyde, whatever other toxic ingredients go into a vaccination? If you haven't guessed, I'm not a fan of vaccines. I've actually had several doctors tell me they won't take them and they won't give vaccines to their children. it's kind of a tough one because you look at the list of ingredients of what goes into a vaccine and you realize it's may not be all it's cracked up to be. So I just want to get the word out there, so we let our political leaders know that we are aware that it's overhyped. That way we say we want to get back to work, we want to get on with our lives, we don't want to have to do social distancing for a whole nother month because it's getting out of hand. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, if you like what I'm talking about, this is not usually my kind of content, but since everyone's talking coronavirus, I figured I would share it as well on my channel.
It's the typical, this thing is overhyped, a hoax, fake, are the same people that fall into the camp of anti-vaxxers, that they are putting chemicals into your body and you don't know what they're injecting into you. Well, guess what? Everything that you put into your body is for the chemicals. It's all about the dosage. Did you know an apple contains cyanide, which is deadly if the dosage is high enough, but what you consume is 1.0 milligram of cyanide compounds. It's the same with vaccines. If the dosage is small enough, it's not going to cause you any harm. So that's a taste of one of the COVID-19 conspiracy theorists that have crawled out from the pit and joined the rest of the squad of spreading misinformation about something they know nothing about. So what do you think? Do you think he's a complete crackpot? Or do you think he's telling the truth about the things he's saying in his video? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. If you didn't, you know where the dislike button is. Leave a comment in the comment section, and if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Take care, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.